What's going on, crypto guys? This is the DeFi Crypto Alliance show. My internet is absolutely horrible today, but I thought I'd go ahead and give this a try anyways. Wanted to be able to come in here and do a show. This is an exciting time with PulseChain getting its listing today on the MEXC exchange. So this is super cool. I wanted you guys to come on. Let's talk. Let's wrap. This is Open Mic Friday. This is your guys' show. Hopefully you guys are able to see me. My video is lagging tremendously. I'm going to go ahead and put the invite for the show, though. Let's come on and talk about this. Like, once again, guys, we were talking about this yesterday where we're saying, we have a lot of bullish divergence in the PulseChain ecosystem where all the building is still taking place. For example, 2Fucks is launching. You have, a bunch of meme coins still launching. And then you got this kind of news here where we're going to be on a centralized exchange, which whether you like it or not, it's actually a good thing because it gets us exposure and in front of eyeballs. Because when it comes down to it, most people, most retail, at least for the time being, are not going to come in and do DeFi. We need this type of exposure. We need this type of eyeballs that come and see our ecosystem. So that way then we can onboard them into PulseChain. Once they go and buy the ticker on the exchange, they can figure out, okay, well, let's look deeper into this. What is it? And then, then the community can work on onboarding them into DeFi and actually using the chain the way it was intended to be used. So I think it's try with my camera. Is it that bad, Paul? Man, it is bad today, dude. I am going to try my stop cam. I tried before the show. I tried my hotspot. I tried the local Puerto Rico internet, and I'm on Elon Musk internet, Stargate, and I'm still cannot get any of them to work right. They're all lagging like crazy. But we're going to go ahead and push on with the show because this is mainly your guys' show today anyway. So you guys come on, let's wrap everything PulseChain. Let's wrap everything about money, whether it's crypto, real estate, whatever have you. Norbert, what's up, buddy? What are you doing, man? You in the gym? You trying to get all buff,
gym.
bro?
Yeah. In the gym.
This is cool, man. This is your version of go touch some grass. You're getting off of Twitter. You're getting out in the real world. You're helping yourself and you're working out, man. What are you not working today in your real job?
Yeah, I was, but I just finished. Had a quick lunch and then
That's
head
right.
down here.
Okay. What's your
Same
thoughts,
routine.
man, of the exchange listing?
Yeah, I just heard it as I was having lunch. It's pretty good, but then somebody was showing that how much it was affecting the price. It was like 0.1% move or something like that. It was so silly.
Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah.
That's not a direct effect going to cause a green candle.
No,
People
I'm
going to come
just
in.
saying
You know what I
it was
mean?
like
It's
so fun. Yeah, I love Sony's because in Hungary we are so sarcastic, like teasing and stuff like that. We take it to the next level, and Sony is pretty good at it. But yeah, it's absolutely really good news. Finally, like we were looking for some sort of major development, like to make the money flowing in easier to our chain. So
I
yeah,
agreed,
it's
man.
definitely the
And
thing for us.
also what it will do is help facilitate in the future more centralized exchanges picking us up. In fact, I don't know who I was listening to this morning. I can't remember, but I remember somebody was talking about this. Maybe it was Sami, where it's this one cost us I think it was 120 grand, 160 grand. Shout out to everybody who donated to the cause. This is super, super awesome. Everybody's, talking crap about all the cabal, like a lot of the OG Hexicans are the ones who donated to this, to making this happen. So shout out to you guys for doing this. That's freaking awesome. But if this one cost us 120 or 160, whatever it was, maybe down the road on our second listing, it might only cost us 60, or maybe only cost us 40. And so as we get more eyeballs, more a better reputation, kind of more validity on different centralized exchanges, the other ones will be picking us up as we move along. I mean, we were picked up before by OKX. I think it was OKX when we were when we had first launched, and then that kind of marked a low. If I remember right, it was like a local top or something at the time. That's why I think this one could be a local bottom. I don't know. It'd be kind of interesting to see, to point back in the future to see if this is a bottom. But I remember they dropped us after the SEC news. It wouldn't surprise me if someone like them were to see this, and then, you know, after all the kind of a, you know, the shit show that the SEC is going through, maybe they pick us back up. Who knows? I don't know. I'm speculating here. So, you know, it does a lot of good things for us as far as of adoption, and help us, you know, facilitate getting retail and new.
Oh, we lost Corey. So yeah, he's absolutely bullish, and yeah, he's right. As we become more popular, then probably we're gonna be more appealing for the rest of the, because all of these exchanges, you know, like they need volume, and they need tokens to be listed. There's something new to come and keep the hype up. If there's nothing available, you know, then it's not good for them either. Same as for us, you know, like if it was PulseChain only and no one would build on PulseChain, then what would we do? You know, like swap hex with ehex with phex, and you know, like with Pulse with PulseX. You know, we need the builders, and thanks God, you know, it's more and more builders popping up, building, and right now looks like we have like a decent variety of sectors or tokens. Let's say we have a bit of meme, we have DeFi, we're gonna have NFTs and stuff like that. So I'm not sure what's happening with Mintra. Would be nice to have some updates from Gerardo. And I also haven't heard much from Liquid Loans either recently, which is a shame actually, because that was one of my biggest sacrifice when it was out, and then it's not really doing
Yeah,
much, to be honest.
I sacked a pretty good size to that one too. Yeah, pretty serious regrets there. I should have done more research on the Liquidity token and what its performance has been in the last couple of years before I
The thing is,
sacrificed for loans.
no, you did well, buddy, because it's you and I, you know, and many of us, not just us, you and me, but many people can relate to liquid loans, because the entire economy is based on loans and interest. You know, if there was no interest,
Sure.
the banks wouldn't roll, you know, the businesses wouldn't go. So we need those type of things. But what I missing from liquid loans, and if you listening to us guys, probably should definitely consider my suggestion to you, which is fair enough. You whatever you wanted, it didn't work out the way because of various reasons, but you got $50 million in your pocket, yeah. So you spend a little bit on this and that, but as you can see, 120K can make a significant difference, you know, in a blockchain uh, with adoption, for example. So if you want to be a long-term serious player on PulseChain, and if you want to keep your words, in my opinion, what you should do is reach out to what Wait does, 0x Coast. You know, find someone who is happy to do business with you, and you can do on and off ramp. Because then it's easier to explain what your product is to a bank. You know, like you lending money out, we do something similar here. So the only thing we're missing right now is not really built up well. So we need someone to make the money flow in and out available. You should add that to it, because whatever you do right now is not working. And what you're gonna do? Walk away with $50 million? Then
Well, I
something that
saw 0x Coast. Aren't they live back in the UK? You're out there. They did an announcement
like
yesterday.
I said, yeah, I don't know about that one, but yeah, it would be nice. The thing is, you know, like I said, I put in way too much considering to my income, you know, into crypto, and even
Oh,
my
yes,
wife
you're
is
not
saying,
on
nah,
board more.
don't put more money in, you know, like I don't want you to put more money in, you know, save for this and that. But can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me now? Man,
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah. We both lost connection at the same time. It was
Dane will
funny.
be on in a minute too. That'll help, facilitate the show. Man, I can't get any of my Wi-Fi's to work today. It's just horrible.
And if you remove the video, it helps you with the connection. It makes it
I
more
mean, I got
stable.
the video removed now. It's still laggy. I mean, I don't know what it is. It's part of living in Puerto Rico, man. It's the pains of being here. But I mean, you have good days
Yeah,
and bad days with it, and you
it's a
just take.
little annoyance. I'm sure.
Yeah,
There's
it's all
more
it is, man.
goodies than like
That's all
cons.
it is. I mean, yeah. So they went live yesterday back in the UK. They said that within 2 weeks they will also be live back here in the States, 0x Coast, which is, in my opinion, probably one of the best on and off ramps. I'd rather go through 0x Coast than go through a Coinbase, Kraken, or even a MEXC. Yeah, it's cool that I can go to MEXC now and then buy Pulse directly on there, and then I may make an off ramp to Pulse right on chain. But I like the idea of just minting stablecoin right on chain through Coast. They've been just an absolute banger of a protocol. I was using them, man, before they shut down. I mean, I think I was doing my maybe twice a month. I was wiring money into those guys when they were live, and they were live, Norbert, when PulseChain was at its bottom. I don't know if you remember that when we were going to that SEC FUD and everything was kind of going on during that time when we were that to me was a real deep depression. This is nothing. That I was using Coast all throughout that to get money on chain, and it worked so well, man. I mean, you just gotta be careful.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with the weight, not the weight, the Coast, the stable coin. It can only handle so much liquidity at a time. So like if you're bringing on, 50K, 70K, you got to be careful. You could have a lot of slippage. But if you're bringing like, 2K, 5K, maybe even 10K, you're going to be fine going through the Coast route. Or if you are bringing those larger amounts of money, 20, 40, 50, it might be more ideal to come in through like a Coinbase or maybe a MEXC, depending where you're living, and that way you don't experience any slippage and push the price against yourself, because that's the worst thing. When you're trying to onboard somebody, especially somebody new, and they don't understand slippage, and they push the price against themselves, and they're like, hey, why did I end up with less money than I thought I was going to end up? The price says this, and I ended up with
Welcome
this
to
many coins.
crypto.
It's like, because you push buy on a $50,000 order on a very illiquid stable coin.
That's why I'm always encouraging everyone to provide liquidity. I understand, guys, that everyone talks about
Now
in
checking 1, 2, 3. Guys, comment in the
yeah, you're
chat for
back.
me. Oh, there you are. Can you
Yeah,
hear
you're
me?
back.
Guys, comment in the chat if you can hear me.
Yeah, it's kind of you come on and off. It's a bit breaking up sometimes.
I think Jesus, horrible. We might have to call it a quick show today. Make this work. So, can you guys hear me now? Checking 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we can.
Checking.
Yeah, we
No.
are here.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Might end up winding the show down early today just because I can't get this thing to work properly.
Now we can hear you for the moment.
We got Paul Sachs coming on stage. I love it. He's always got some good insight.
What up, boys?
Oh, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Not a whole lot. Sorry if my internet shit around here. We got storms today, so I'm in the same boat.
Well, your internet is not nearly as shitty as mine. I promise you. This has been the worst today.
Yeah, it sounds like you're going through it down there. A small trade-off for everything else you went down with, right?
Outside. Yeah, and it's sunny skies outside. You would think the Elon Musk internet would work fine. Satellites are great. Like, Why can't we get a good reception? I don't know, but this is the part of how it goes.
Russians, right?
Yeah. So what's going on in your world, bro? How do you feel about the MEXC listing?
Yeah, it's MEXC what?
The MEXC listing that we just got approved.
Is this one on me?
Yeah,
There's
just
a new listing. You got listed.
We got Freedom Crypto coming in too.
Hey, Freedom.
Can you guys hear me?
Am I back or you guys back?
Man, I don't know. Like I said, I might have to make the show quick today since it's not working the way I had planned. What's up, Freedom Crypto? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
I wonder if StreamYard's having issues too, on top of all of us.
Maybe, dude. This could
Maybe,
be.
yeah.
What's your thoughts, Freedom Crypto?
Oh, I just joining, so I'm not sure what's the conversation. What I'm sure you guys talk about the PulseChain going to list on the MEXC, right?
Yeah, the listing, that we got listed on a centralized exchange. That's what Cody was asking. What do you think about it?
I think it's a good news, right? It's better. We need traditional or retail to get more easier instead of like just using the bridge. Maybe for the first, a lot of people are staying new to bridging thing and they have no idea what it's really about. So yeah, I think it's a good thing. The more it's acceptable to everyone, it's the better for all the investor.
Yep, I agree 100%. Do you know a fun statistic? Did you know Dick with Butt was created because we were doing the MEXC listing?
Oh, I know that's called, but I don't know how the story is started. Yes,
that's the story. Is when the PulseChain Foundation was raising the initial money to get us on the exchange, the Tang Gang, out of like, I guess you would. I don't know. I want to know if I say spite, but just out of like, hey, screw your money raise. Here's Dick with Butt. So it's very interesting how even that is, in my opinion, is a net positive. We're seeing other things come out, that are very positive. So yeah, it's good stuff. So we got Hans Crypto coming on. This would be
cool.
Hans. Hello.
Friday today.
The guy with the knowledge.
I want to apologize to you guys first because.
Can you hear us, Hans?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, you're fine.
Can Corey hear me?
He's in and out. I think so.
Okay.
He's in and out too. You guys can hear me though?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to come on last week.
Yeah, so I mean,
I thought there was
a lot of good things, man. I think this is the start of some serious adoption going on. I want to give credit where the credit's due to the PulseChain Foundation. Those guys are awesome. Hans, can you hear us?
No, I can't hear him. Hello?
Checking.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, we hear both of you, but I don't think you guys hear each other.
How weird is that?
It is odd. I think StreamYard's having issues too on top of us.
My internet sucks.
Nah, you're good.
Maybe it's a worldwide problem. This is good.
What were you saying, Hans? And now I'm.
Yeah.
Nope, I hear you now. Okay. What were you saying?
What's going on? I keep losing you guys.
I'm here.
I think I ruined it all when I came in.
That's between Corey and.
Can you hear us, Hans?
Yeah, no, I can hear you.
It feels like that old 90s commercial, internet or cell phone commercial. Can you hear me now?
Maybe.
I'm just quickly signing in.
Jeez, this is
absolutely
horrible.
I can hear Hans more consistently than Corey.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I just quickly signed in here. Okay, so I can chat in the chat as well.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, what
what
are you
is
guys
your
talking
thoughts
about?
on the MEXC
Oh.
listing?
Okay, I'm a technical analyst, and so
Listing.
I don't really think it has any effect really on the price. Many people will say that this is the turning point. It's most likely going to be the bottom, and people will point back to the listing, especially those who have worked very hard to get a listing. Are you guys going to use it? Do you have created an account already? Let's see what the sentiment is. Go around the room. Who has a MEXC account?
I think a long time ago, I have that and a Gate.io about the same time, but I never used either of them.
Yeah, it's kind of my point, right? Any one of you going to use it?
No.
Well, the thing is, it would make a big difference for certain people, who are not as
No, I get that, but I want to know from you guys.
I don't. We have this good exchange called Swissborg. I'm using that one in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really using the MEXC. I do have the account, and then just use for something else. Like for me, I'm buying pretty much a lot of different coin on the different chain. Sometimes, some coin list on the MEXC, then I will just go buy and then transfer back to the decentralized wallet. I'm not really keep my fund in the centralized. So I think it's a good for me, it's a good thing that they list on the MEXC. I sometimes when my friend or anyone asking how to buy PulseChain, I need to explain things, how to use a bridge, how to transfer from another to. Now I can tell that you can go buy on the MEXC. It's more better for me to pointing to them. For me, it's I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, no, definitely a good thing.
Yeah.
I would probably use it. I'll probably buy XRP on my local exchange and then send it from there. Then buy PulseChain, and that would probably be for me the cheapest way of doing a dollar cost average.
Yeah.
I have traded probably more than anyone in this community on exchanges. Well, that's probably a very, very ignore that statement. That's I've traded a lot on exchanges, and there are really I can do very, very well trading granny on these coins. Like MEXC has some of the most degenerate, low liquidity coins you can trade. It is absolutely perfect for that.
I
don't know what I did.
Price is not really that much affecting. It's not moving anything. I was seeing the post announcement, and I don't really see people are buying or something. It's not affecting too much. But if you're going to talk about onboarding or anything like that, it's gonna be better. It's gonna be better from here.
So best case scenario is we are on this is a SEX listing and the price floats sideways. Usually these go down, price goes down after this, but we're already near a bottom, kind of, hopefully. So, right.
It feels like a lot to me that it's almost like, hey, what's up guys? Anyway, Gingerbread Man, that it's almost like if you were to go and Google a business, right? Say somebody's like, hey man, you should drink Coke. So you go and Google Coke, like, oh, they're a business. It's like, oh, let's go check out their social media profile. I almost feel like this CEX listing on this particular exchange is like a brand new social media profile that you can go and verify. Oh, yeah, it's a legit coin, but that doesn't also necessarily mean that it generates business for that particular business. I think it's good, yes, that people can go and verify that it's legit. As far as price moving, that's suspect in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's positive. I wouldn't say this is the catalyst for a bottom if it should form here.
You think it is a catalyst for a bottom? You said, Hans?
It could be. It could be. But I like it. There's nothing negative for me to say about it.
Yeah, the more is better. Some people prefer that kind of way too. But what do you think about these hunts? Because I was having a discussion with Corey earlier that I strongly believe that, for example, Liquid Loans and maybe Power City should expand the core token business model to have a better built out system where you can on and off ramp money, for example, because at the end of the day, like they are a loan provider platform. So it would make sense to connect with a on and off ramp, some sort of financial institute who would make them, because that's the problem with, that's what I see as a problem with PulseChain, that it takes so many steps and things are all over the place. It's not like in a central hub where I go and then, okay, I can do this here, I can do this here, everything would be just like at one place. It would be much better, in my opinion, if these guys would focus on those sort of functions to have as an easy to understand, maybe a lot of how-to videos. Coffee does a lot of good videos, so he could be, for example, the ambassador for these projects with good explanations. What do you think about that? Do you think it would be feasible, to make that happen?
It's going to be very difficult for them to do that, right? I mean, you're not a big name in DeFi, you're pretty unknown. But it is obviously good ideas. I don't know. Are you implying that it is a good idea for them to partner with a centralized exchange, in this case MEXC?
Not necessarily with MEXC, but for example, to do something similar like 0xCo's guys are doing, to find a financial institute who would be happy to provide the services when you could easily on and off ramp money. Because as you can see, apparently 120,000 made this happen to get listed on a centralized exchange. Liquid Loans got $50 million sacrifice. I mean, use that money, guys, seriously. Like, what you gonna do? What have you been doing with the money? It's none of my business, because
we can complain about these things.
It's sacrifice and things like that. But no, it's not about complaining. It's about discussing, because it's facts, like.
No, I agree 100% with you. Just to
do something,
like I am on
whatever you wanted to bring up. The current state is not working, so let's move to the next step. How can we make this better? Because if you are here for long term, you got to do something. Same as me, for example, when I started doing trading and I started losing money, I'm like, okay, I'm definitely not doing something right, so I have to improve. I have to change things to make myself more profitable, to move to the next level when you start making money finally. So the same thing would apply for these guys.
I think they're all of them are quite scared to do anything, to say anything, until we get some regulatory
clarity.
Yeah. So I'm not defending them at all. I'm just as sick as you are.
I don't think you'll ever see. I don't think you'll ever see like a Liquid Loans or a Power City try to use that money to go and facilitate centralized exchanges, listings, stuff like that. I don't think we're ever going to see something like that. I think because when we look at loans, we didn't even see very much liquidity added when it launched. It's just, I think what we got is what we're going to get from those guys. That's pretty much it, Norbert. I mean, and I could be wrong.
Better for all mental health to just forget about it, right? Now, I didn't sacrifice for those things. I think some of you are in a different boat than me. That's just where I'm from, where I'm currently at.
Wish I wouldn't have.
But the thing is, but the thing is, like if you think about it as a global scale, let's say, going back again, I don't know the numbers for Power City, but Liquid Loans was, like I said, $50 million, which was in the top 5 amount being sacrificed for the chain itself. And if new participants come and they look at the okay, what are the most successful, what are the biggest things on PulseChain, and they look at this, that guys have $50 million in their pocket and they can't do anything to make it happen or to make it better or to work, improve or whatever, then they're going to be like, do I really want to invest in this chain? Like if the biggest guys cannot make it happen, then what about these smaller guys? It's bad reputation, in my opinion. And they have the opportunity, like work harder. I don't need to hear this, oh, I'm trying. I hate that. Try harder, man. Do it more, like, I don't care. Or just say, make an announcement and say, you know what, it didn't work out, guys. Thank you for the 50 million and never see you again or whatever. But do something. The hanging us like in the air like right now is. I kind of buried this thing. Like I put the money to the wrong place, but still would be nice.
I think you're gonna be very, very disappointed, and I'm very, very
I
sorry
agree.
to tell you that.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
I feel
naive.
for you
I know,
as
I
well.
know,
I
a
like
bit
it.
naive.
Yeah. So.
And Norbert, I
it's
mean, I was
best
there
for
with
to
you.
move on.
I sacrificed a good chunk of change for liquid loans, man. So, and like for me, unfortunately, I've written that money off. I even did the
It's not about
2-year stake.
Shit.
Yeah, I did the 2-year stake where because I was a pleb then. I didn't know much about what was going on, and it was a lesson learned, man. It was a lesson learned. I don't plan on seeing that money. And if I do get some money back when the time comes, then great. Then for me, it's a bonus. That to me, I'm looking at it as a bonus. I don't expect them to do anything, and I don't think they will do anything. If they do, like all I want from liquid loans at this point is just the Oracle. If they could just even give us the Oracle that they've been talking about for the last like 8 months, I would be happy about that. But they haven't even given us that yet. The Oracle is still in production.
I feel for you guys. Like
they didn't actually raise enough money for an Oracle, Corey. That's the joke.
What is it? They didn't get enough money for an Oracle? Is an Oracle $100 million? Is that what the going rate is? I mean, some of these are learning lessons for me, right? Like I went through a lot of these, and for me, there was a lot of bad sacrifices that I did. It's just part of the game. I make new money and I bring new money into the system, and some of that old money I've written off, man. It's just it's the only way I can chop it up. It's a learning lesson for me. So,
you know what? It's really good to have the attitude that you can improve in this game, and you can definitely rebuild.
It's tuition, right?
It's tuition.
It's the cost of tuition. This is how, I mean, everybody's cost is different, but you're learning. Unfortunately, some pay a higher price than others.
I'm getting my ass kicked in tuition, and that's fine because I'm going to keep pushing forward because I know what the prize is at the end of the movie. Like I'm doing a DCA this coming up week. I'm doing a wire either today or a Monday. I'm going to do another DCA into the core assets, right? And is this the bottom? I don't know. I hope so. I think maybe the MEXC listing could mark the bottom, like Han said. It'd be nice to point back to the chart, but I'm going to keep pushing forward because I still have the vision. I know what the goal is at the end of the movie. I know it's going, for me and myself, I know it's going to happen. And I've made some mistakes along the way. I mean, what's one of the biggest mistake, man? PulseX sacrifice, man. I threw multiple 6 figures in that thing. Like I should have just waited, but that's just part of how it goes. And I'm okay with it.
And I think one of the best parts about it is that we're learning everything before things really rip, right? We're getting our education before it's time to actually make big money and big brain moves. And just like anything else, you're going to pay for coaching, you're going to pay for masterminds, you're going to pay for mentorship. Well, and sometimes you pay the system
experience.
You pay to do that, and that's part of crypto.
Dude, it's part of everything in life.
That's right. So I like it.
I was doing real estate for 10 years before I got into crypto. And back when I started in real estate, when I started flipping houses, on my third deal, I lost $250,000. I lost my life savings. I lost all my previous flip money. Like it knocked me back to zero, but I learned a lot of lessons from that loss, right? And I became very successful at flipping houses. But
you married at that time.
You have to take the lumps sometimes, and I've taken some really huge lumps in crypto, but I've learned a lesson out of it every single time. I take a step back and go, "What the hell did I do wrong? Where did I make the mistake? The miscalculation on this." And I've learned some pretty strong lessons. So it's made me better, for the future. I'm not here for just one cycle. I'm here for multiple cycles. Hopefully, God, if God allows me to be, I will be here for multiple cycles. And so it's just it's a learning lesson. And that's what a lot of people like on Twitter and everyone, people who want gratification now, that's just not how life works. It's just not how life works. Like you got to have delayed gratification mindset, and you got to be able to mentally have the framework to have these lessons.
What's up?
Hey,
We got
Hey,
James
what's
coming
up?
Dane
in.
is
This
here.
is good. He's made it. He's made it.
I made it.
Let me see if I can turn my camera
See you,
on.
Dane.
This morning. Got them solved. Glad you guys are here.
Yeah, it was a bumpy start, but it's working out pretty well. Now
It's
the conversation
starting to work out a little bit.
Hope I'm not gonna jinx it.
I turned my camera off again. Dane, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, perfect.
We may
Yes,
have
Yeah,
to end
man.
the show. We may have to end the show. Dane's the top signal. He took Briz's spot. Corey, shut it down, man. Shut it down.
Maybe Dane's internet will stabilize the show. Like maybe we needed his internet. This is what.
So I don't know if you guys have gotten into this. In fact, Hans is here, so this will be a good question. I'm curious if you guys, in fact, we'd start with Hans if you haven't covered this already. Is the what are we thinking as far as the bottom end being the MEXC listing? Are we thinking that's solid? Do we feel like we're going to run sideways here for a while? Do we think we're going to have some explosive growth? We were talking on the show yesterday, and I think until you see, the SAC wallet or somebody of that nature bridging in funds, I don't think you see any real big explosive moves until some of that starts to happen. Agree or disagree? I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are.
I mean, I did a live stream many, many months ago with Katy Perry, and I drew in a sideways movement before we had this initial rally, and I drew sideways movements to where we are currently right now, and that's what I would have loved to see is a long consolidation, just higher lows, those small W's, and then a breakout. I know why he broke this W on the chart, because
Why do you think?
those W breaks, and you can see them on other assets as well. That is the market telling you to be interested in this asset when it does that initial impulse bump from its accumulation phase. That then tells you, okay, it's time to be interested. Pull up your FIB2 and get it at the 61.8. Right? And then we've been dollar cost averaging. We've got the 61.8, the 78.6, and the 88.6. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the structure until it just has to hold these lows. We were a bit late into bottoming into the cycle. Many altcoins had years. Like look at Ethereum. Ethereum had an incredibly powerful bottoming with a low being created before BTC, then a higher low, and then another higher low before eventually breaking out. And I think just off the top of my head, it's probably a year's consolidation. What do we have here? And I don't want to take all the time because I'd be interested to hear what you guys. So we're 280 days in since from that low. So
In fact,
yeah, I mean,
if you've got a chart up, would you feel free to even share that? It'd be good to see what you're looking at. There we go. I'll grab it. Okay. Thank you.
40 bars, 280 days into this consolidation. So just to show you guys what kind of, I painted something like this right back then. Now he did do this. This was maybe not necessary, but I understand why he did it. Right. So
and you're saying you think that was more like a marketing thing where you had that W forming beforehand, and
he
Richard
didn't have to
saying
play
like,
this out. He didn't, because he pumped it here. He didn't have to do this. But I do think he wanted people to look here, right? Saying to the market, hey, look over here. There's a massive pump here. And if he went and straight bought ETH before buying PLS, you would have seen these people freak the F out, right? So he pretty much just signaled to the market, okay, I'll just put a little bit in here. But the real goal is actually the ETH trade. And then the rotation to that. Okay, that's just speculation, but we're all speculating that, right?
right.
The MEXC, I don't believe in fundamentals. I believe that technicals show the fundamental event months, weeks, days before it happens. Generally, you get higher lows on very, very bad news. So an example of that would be the banking crisis that we had in BTC, and you still made a higher low. and that would confirm your bottom. So we don't have something like that. We have good news at the bottom, so I really don't know how to interpret that. Generally, you get bad news at the bottom. Some people will interpret this as good news. Are we giving them supply? I don't know. So there are some fundamental things you have to think about there. So I don't know.
It. I mean, the way you've drawn this, I mean, it feels like, and I could be wrong on this. I mean, it feels like we're looking at potentially a double bottoming where we go back to that same low down there. We come and touch that, maybe a little consolidation. Yeah, right in there, right in that level right there.
Those are your two very, very important areas that you have to hold. It's not the end of the world if you go and sweep these lows. In Wyckoff, it's called the spring, but then you need to jump back up very, very quickly. But I would not love for that to happen, because then we're going to have to form new structure throughout. But I think, yeah, we need to step in here and defend the price.
Right. Will be interesting to see. No, we appreciate
to come back to your double bottom, this is, if we are to hold here, this is an incredible market structure to take you very, very high.
Massive
I mean,
W.
if you get a second leg like this to literally test your double bottom, and you can see people are panicking, right? Yeah, it's very, very powerful, and people will tell me that I'm coping, but I've been looking at thousands of charts in my life, and I mean, we can look for other examples of something like that. Did my screen change? No, I have to share this tab instead. So let's look at ADA in the previous cycle and see what they did.
That's a great example.
Now, this was the COVID dump, right? No, that's in Jan. Let's put this on the weekly scale because I haven't gone further back. Back far enough. Okay, let's look here. So you can see this incredible long consolidation. So just to go back, share this. This line that, oh, wow, okay. Just to give you guys an idea. So this line that I've plotted here was the low, right? And I'm going to go back to ADA and just show that same thing. So this is the low that I've marked on PLS here. Do you see how we sweep this low here?
Right.
We've lost the low there. So this is what I talked about there. You get this high and we come all the way back. In Wyckoff theory, this is called the spring. And I won't go too much into that. But like I said, it has to come back instantly to defend that. And I mean,
this scenario, when you say instantly, this is the weekly. So I mean, you touch down, and then would you consider this instantly, where like on the weekly it looks like you're green in the next week, and then you're off
on the daily? It's going to look different, but the weekly is the most important chart. If you're only looking now, we don't have much data for PLS assets, so we're looking at it at the daily. But looking at it at the weekly is probably better. But that is quick enough, even if you look at it on the daily or the 4-hour, it just instantly closed above that level. And I mean, I can zoom out for you guys, right?
It just sends.
And did people say that ADA is dead here? I mean, it looks the exact same. We formed structure. I mean, the percentages are probably going to be exactly the same.
Well, what was that move from that second bottoming there? Yeah, what was that?
From here to the all-time highs.
Like a 3x. Yeah, look at that. So that's really interesting. It's really similar.
That is a 3x, very, very similar to what we just saw here.
Yeah.
Let me just go to this chart.
We're just in a movie.
Everything so what repeats. I'm trying to show you guys is that this is in fact very, very normal, right? For assets to be looking like this. And this is a V bottom, right? And it's not very healthy to V bottom like this. And it just shot out of here, right?
Well, yeah, what's the move from the spring, and how long was that time frame? What is that?
That's 532 days.
Jeez.
Wow.
So you're like a year and a half, and that's what is that? 182x, almost 183.
I would gladly
So-
wait 500 days for 100 heads.
Would be all right.
I'd be all right
so
with that.
let's say the
The
top.
easy way.
That's when the next eclipse season starts
When is that?
in 15th September. That's about 100 days less than what ADA did. So
that would kind of line up with my general thesis here. Is I think that we kind of accumulate for a little bit down in these lows until later, later this year, fallish, maybe we're slow and laggy in the summer, and then fall kind of starts back up again. Is that kind of what you're thinking when you're mentioning the eclipse here?
I've got a good graphic for you, actually. Educational content.
This is really interesting comparing it to the ADA chart, huh?
Yeah, it will be. I mean, there's many charts that we can look at. Yeah, I mean, I can't find it now. Yeah, so the seasonality trade peaks in June. Now that's GAN's seasonal trade. So it's the sell in May, go away kind of thing, peaking in June, and then
Isn't that the summer solstice
actually,
in June? Around the end of June.
I think it's the 21st of June because it's the start of Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
But we've kind of been like people have said, the cycle, the whole cycle, crypto cycle, it's kind of been like a month early because we got sell in May, in April.
Mm.
Right? So it's kind of weird. I mean, I think the FTM is probably a good chart, and I'll show you the VET chart. The VET chart is another very, very good example. So yeah, this is the COVID dump making new lows on FTM. So this is your initial rally, the same thing we had in PLS. Your low, and then once again you get that spring, but this took a little bit longer to come out. I think this is the log scale. Yeah, so it's a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, even then you had, because you had 1, 2, about 3 or 4 weeks for it to come out and then really hit that spring. Okay, so you could, theoretically, you could invalidate that bottom for a few weeks and still spring out of there and be all right.
Yeah, this is a trap, right? This is trying to trap the bulls. Just imagine selling here.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Massive W and just out of there. It just continues. So you can see how important this market structure is that's formed in here. The longer this lasts, and literally you can draw a line here. I think I can do it without one of these tools if I reverse it. Okay, it's from the other side. Let me remove all the drawings.
And after you do that, yeah, I'm curious, is the time frame from that spring to the top pretty similar to the ADA chart?
I'm trying to find.
Yeah, take your time. You're good.
Oh, there used to be a line that you can draw horizontally and then flip it. Let's try this quickly. Oh, not even close. Yeah, so it's important to have a long consolidation. The more explosive the move to the upside will be.
Why is that? I've heard that said. Why is that? What's the thought process?
This is coins trading hands, right? Supply and demand, right? A lot of supply. Demand starts to set in. Supply starts to set in, and then the supply runs out.
It's the consolidation.
There are strong hands here accumulating and not selling, but there are a lot of weak hands getting out, and eventually the equilibrium flips. There's only strong hands left, and the weak hands have gone.
Interesting. Yeah, what was the time frame on this one from that spring up to the top? Was it pretty similar to the ADA chart?
Man, this FTM did a run. 595.
I think that's pretty close. I think the ADA chart was like 500, a little less. Interesting.
And Ethereum is a different story because this actually held its lows.
Interesting.
But all of them do this, right? Come back to retest these lows. Do you see it across the board? Although we had the virus do it, the technicals will probably show you a lot of exhaustion at these highs. So is it COVID or is it the fundamentals that showed you? I mean, that's the age-old question, right? The battle between the fundamentalists and the technical analysts. So if I put up, and I talked about this earlier, now I don't want to take over the whole show, and I'll just finish here. You can see how ETH bottomed before Bitcoin did. You see it here. Here's ETH's bottom, and this is BTC's bottom.
The orange line is BTC?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'll just move it a little bit down so you can see the BTC chart here, the line chart. This has never happened. An altcoin has never, ever bottomed before BTC. And this is perfect market structure that you want to see. Very, very powerful. And this is why I don't really like the third cycle curse, because it's a fundamental analysis. Whereas the technicals are telling me something way different.
Right. It looks good is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, for an altcoin to have bottomed before BTC and to hold at that second, it's never been seen before. There might be some obscure coin that someone in the chat might give me, but I've never seen a chart do this. And then obviously you can get your targets, and those are all fun things to do.
Do you think something like, what are we looking like to the upside? I know there's plenty of people talking about a 15 to 30K ETH. Is that like moon math, or is that within the realm of logic here?
That is called the parking garage. So this is a large profit-taking area. Imagine ETH gets there. I mean, we're probably going to get some more. Let's see if there's some confluence there. No, not really. Maybe the 16. Yeah, 11K looks like a good one, eh?
Right.
11, I'm agree with that. 15, 30K is too much. Maybe somewhere around 10K would be.
Yeah, so this is called your parking
make a lot of sense, here. Right?
This is a clear profit-taking area here.
11 to 13-ish.
And the reason I'm not really like, I don't think it's going to be go to 15, 30K is because ETF is approved too early. If we have like ETF approved around end of the year, Ethereum, if people are going to keep accumulating the Ethereum more and more by now until then. Now it's saying Ethereum ETF is approved, so.
And it looks like they're asking for those S1 forms for like full-blown approval and having products for people to be able to actually buy into. It's looking like they're asking for those. I saw a tweet. It was like this week or into early next. The approval there was faster than I think a lot of the market was thinking. I think that's the current administration needing to do something after Trump came out and was pro crypto.
Right.
All that type of stuff. It's it's interesting to consider the implications. Now,
that was definitely a reaction to Trump's campaign there.
Agreed. What what would you make of that ETH bottoming before Bitcoin? Is that, are there any conclusions that you're drawing from that?
How interesting is it? With the news that we've gotten, with the cycle playing out thus far that it did make that bottom before the time. Yeah, it just shows an incredible amount of strength.
Right.
I
mean, and it sounds like for all intents and purposes, I mean, it's fascinating to weigh all the different, I feel like you talk to 10 different people, you get 10 different answers. When people think this market will kind of start to top out, it feels to me like the timing of this one, maybe it's a little faster, kind of like you talked about earlier. Some of the stuff seems to be happening maybe a month earlier than one might anticipate. But man, it feels to me like we're largely on track for a top somewhere, somewhere maybe early or mid next year. What would you guys say about that?
Yeah, October, September.
Really, that late?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm putting my head on the line. But
you heard it here first.
Yeah. But if you go to my earliest videos, I've not changed my mind. It's been the same since then. So I did a time analysis very, very early on, and the video is marked calling the Bitcoin bottom part 1 or something like that. And it's still the same. It showed the bottom a month early, funny enough. That's why I'm calling it a month early in October instead of September.
Huh. Interesting.
So really, my opinion really hasn't changed, although many things have happened. It's, strangely enough, convicted on it. But my reasons for it is the 16.8 year property cycle. If you have my Granny Style of Investing book, I go through the reasons in it. The Benner cycle, and then the 4-year cycle as well. Not the halvening cycle. Or you can add the halvening cycle to that. The 4-year cycle is something totally independent from crypto, actually. The 4-year cycle has nothing to do with the halvening cycle. It's two different theories. So people sometimes tend to confuse those. So the 4-year cycle, you measure from the first low to the second low, or from a low to the other low. And then by using those measurements, you can extrapolate where the next one might happen. And that's how I called the BTC bottom. So, I mean, I'm sticking to that, I think. Yeah.
I like it. So you guys
these are all woo-woo things, and I know people are probably rolling their eyes at these things. I did as well, but things are weird sometimes.
Sure. Is Richard's over 200K Bitcoin price call? Does that seem bonkers to you guys, or does that seem on the table?
Be interesting to see if it gets front run this time. Along with the running a month early, it seemed like we got the top, or sorry, we broke the high, the 69, was it 69.5 or something? We broke that like a month before, or we broke it before the halving this time, which was also front run.
Right. That's a great point.
What was that target?
I think Richard said like 250K. Do you guys remember?
Yeah, he posted one. 240.
It was 241. 241. 241,000.
Oops. Let's see.
Yeah, you'd be pushing it.
Yeah, you'd be pushing it.
Interesting. Because you'd probably see a lot more. You'd think you'd see a lot more profit taking around that 2618 there, right?
There's a bit of confluence here, yeah.
140 to 160. Interesting. It'll be fun. It's been fun to see the ETFs and the way they've pushed Bitcoin, for instance. It'll be interesting to see the impact on ETH. Do you guys think, in fact, let's go to Paul and Freedom Crypto. This has been great. We'll certainly have Hans throw in his 2 cents here. Start with you, Paul. What do you guys think as far as the Ethereum ETF? Because my understanding, and correct this if I'm wrong, but my understanding is the Bitcoin ETF, those all have to be settled in dollars, meaning that there is a barrier for which a user that was buying an Ethereum ETF, they don't necessarily have confirmation that the seller of that product actually has the ETH, if I'm not mistaken, or has the Bitcoin. And so if the ETH one was similar, then you'd have the same concerns and risk. And so, you know, do you have that, a lot of that ETH money that comes in through the ETF, does it actually disperse kind of like you've seen from previous cycles where that money rolls over to other alts, or does it largely stay trapped in ETH because it's an ETF product from less sophisticated investors? What do you think, Paul?
The gains, well, I mean, DeFi and everybody that's front running it all, they'll be the ones that'll roll it over to other products. But the ETF itself, probably just like we've seen with Bitcoin, it's just mostly locked over there. You know, the money that's in that walled garden stays in that walled garden, and money that's out here stays out here. For the most part, there's a clear separation usually.
Right. Oh yeah, look at that where Hans is charting that. That's
but if you're asking if the waterfall or the trickle down effect, it always happens. That's part of the market, or that's part of the cycle.
Right. That part will always happen. It'll be interesting to see how much of the money, how much retail comes in to DeFi versus the ETF. That'll be a really interesting factor to consider. Yeah. What do you think, Freedom Crypto?
Yeah, I think when the BTC ETF was approved, we can see clearly how much money is come to the crypto, or what come to the BTC or the transition. Now you have an app that is really cool. It's called AragonIntelligence.com. So that's, you can see, like, you can tracking the transition, or the BlackRock, how much they are buying, or the big institute, how much buying, and you can see like average 70 million dollar buying on the Bitcoin after the BTC was approved. Right now, Ethereum ETF is approved, but not really like stake to be starting to trade yet. So we have to wait and see how much money going to be flow into the crypto for the Ethereum. So I think we have to see for the next 2 to 4 week time, and then how much money they actually bring. Based on that, I think, yes, we most likely it's going to be decided on when the altcoin season is going to be start.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Yeah,
and also Richard mentioning one time in like last 2-3 days ago, he said Mount God is don't have the Ethereum. They are only holding the BTC, so they cannot dump Ethereum into the market. Right. So yeah,
I think that's a big deal. In fact, you could see ETH dominance, or you could see Bitcoin dominance. Yeah, go down pretty significantly.
I'm actually watching this. If I share my screen here.
Oh yeah, look at that. Before you do, let's look at what Hans has drawn up here.
Yeah.
This is powerful.
It's pretty clear, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's really interesting.
No, they would have allowed for that low to hold, but it's fine. We talked about that.
Yeah. I mean, would you say there's a lot of people, right? I think Sami's kind of led the charge on the idea, or at least that's where I've heard a lot of it, where he's talking about how we're more like a cycle 2 coin, since the gains from Hex were largely what funded Pulse. Do you think that that's a huge parabolic move from that low? Do you think that it's likely that it's muted a little bit more with that idea that you measure this more like a cycle 2 coin? But even ADA, you measure its second cycle as explosive.
So what's the question?
So, I mean, I guess, looking at some of these charts, right, we're looking at their first cycle move and it's explosive. The second cycle is a little more muted. And so, you're
Man, I wish I had more data over this chart because it's kind of. So, are we having a little bit of a muted response? I don't think we can say that right now. We're in this accumulation phase. We haven't really seen what these things can do, except maybe for Solana. It's once again, it's a fundamental opinion. I mean, at the end of the 70s, most, or before that, most people were fundamental analysis. Now, there aren't any more pure fundamental analysis left. All of them have some form of technical. Yeah, it's not yet proven. You know, it's these are all theories.
Right.
He does have a valid point where he shows that most charts have not done, you know, a new all-time highs, and he references Doge and all those things. Maybe the market changes. Maybe this time it's different.
Right.
Yeah, totally different. This cycle is really different. You know, it's not like the previous cycle. In previous cycle, everyone is trading on different kind of level, waiting the 10A, 100A, 1000A, and you know, based on the information, all these project come out. Right now, is so many things it's going on. You know, is you can literally learn the coin in a second. And using the boss trading, people are making crazy money. Most of the investors right now, they don't really care what the project is going to do. They just care about the profit. This totally changed from the last cycle. Right on the last cycle, you can probably like explain this process going to do this, that, and people stay pay attention to it. Right now is I invest today, how much I can make in the next month, next 3 months. That's all they care. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
Sure.
Yeah, gambling, probably so much gambling. With all this meme coin came out every day, around over 5,000 meme coin come out from the Solana chain. That is only the reason Solana is pumping hard right now as well.
Sure. Yeah, I think those are good points.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's different because all of these new coins getting launched and whatever. I tend to maybe yeah, I mean, there's differences to each cycle. This one where the majority of people are actually trading, probably not, but a large amount of people are trading on automatic market makers. I think that does have an influence on that specific asset. Yeah, you can see. I mean, if we look at the combination, the others are like the coins that are below the top 10. Let's just measure this, how long it took before it break out. That was 574 days. We are quite early along, right? On this, we broke out very, very early. It's probably better to look at an index for the altcoins than specific ones. Because maybe those coins, I don't want to say that because everything will catch a bid. It's quite crazy in the bull market. It's just money flows from the one to the other. Yeah, so all of them will catch a bid. Some of them maybe a little bit later, but you can see here. I mean, this was a 300 days consolidation. This was 500 days.
Nice.
How many days in are we? That's 518 days. I mean, we should actually only be breaking out now, really. We should be down here.
Or do we?
More people are in the alts, right?
That's a good point. That actually, because it goes with the point that Freedom made earlier, that there are new coins being launched every day. And it's actually a valid point.
Yeah, more people watching.
And also, like the time is like coming to the holiday season. then market gonna be probably going to sideways a little bit. Now June, July, August is the most quiet holiday time. So all the big trader gonna be taking time off, and we probably see a little bit sideways as well. And then probably
that's that seasonal trade.
Yeah.
Right. Well, this has been good, guys. Seriously, appreciate you pulling up these charts, Hans. This has been great. Thanks for you guys jumping into the show and sharing your opinions. We've covered a ton of stuff today. Hopefully, the time with Corey was great as well. Even though the Puerto Rican internet never treats anyone well. And we appreciate you guys being here. Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll catch you next week.
All right. See you.
See you guys.
Cheers, thanks a lot.